this is not a video to say like anti-MLM or like, you know, oh, like screw MLM companies. To know that people were only there when I could provide value, it was hurtful. This fear of, ooh, hold please. I don't think anyone needs to try to be like anybody else. If you're trying to be somebody else, that's gonna come across and people are gonna feel that like, oh, like the fakeness. But when you are being undeniably you and you are passionate about what you're doing, people feel that. It hits different. This is it. This is the new direction. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we're in my car. We're driving, so I'm gonna be looking this way a lot because I'm driving. Oh my goodness, you guys. It has been a whirlwind. We got back from vacation and then we were trying to get settled and all this stuff. And this video is long overdue. It is. I wasn't sure if I wanted to like drag this out and actually make a video about it, but I feel like I need to elaborate on why exactly I needed to pull back and why I needed to go a different direction with what I was doing and just everything. And there's a reason I'm doing this in my car, because it's like I sit down in the office, like I've just been having this block lately and I don't know why. And it's like I do and I don't know why. I know that part of it is because pharmacy and the whole MLM world was such a big part of me that now I'm trying to figure out my place without that, and I'm trying to figure out what my journey looks like without pharmacy in it. And it honestly, because I was so in it, it's kind of scary to rethink everything, to step back. But if you're not truly happy, like you can't keep going on the path that you're going on. You just can't. I know I couldn't. My mental state of mind was not gonna let me keep going on the path I was going on. It wasn't good for my mental health. So as you guys know, when I first started pharmacy, it was fun. It was fun because it was just makeup and skincare that I liked sharing. It was affordable. And so, you know, I was having fun with it. I didn't really start out with pharmacy to grow a huge team and to do this and that, but it grew into what it did, okay? I am a very, like, not to say like there are fake people or whatever. I'm just saying like I have to be very real and very true to who I am to feel good about what I'm doing. And I felt great about it because I was offering affordable stuff to people. There was no like pressure of numbers and this and that. It was just, like I said, it was just fun. But then the team grew and grew and grew. And so when you're recognized as a bigger leader with pharmacy, I think more people want to sign up under you because they're like, oh, you're a big leader, so you know what to do to get there. Honestly, like I said, I was just having fun with it and I was being me. And you can't teach being you to somebody else. Like I can't teach someone else how to be Torrie. You know what I mean? So it stressed me out because then it got into the MLM training of it, the multi-level marketing, the growing your network and networking with people. But I don't want to I guess I didn't want to have to train people on how to network because I didn't consider what I was doing networking. I just felt like I was building relationships with people. And it was really cool to me because I felt like I built, within my team, I felt like I built a very safe space for people to come and to be themselves and to feel like everybody was accepted. But then once I had, I don't want to say like true MLMers, but like people that knew the business of MLM, you know, the MLM industry. If my camera just falls over, sorry guys, I'm trying to keep the wheel steady, but it's a windy day. But when I had people wanting to join my team that were in the MLM industry before, MLM is multi-level marketing. It is building teams under yourself. So yes, it looks like a pyramid when you are building under yourself. I felt more pressure when I started surrounding myself with the actual like people that knew the MLM world and that wanted to train on the MLM world. Like it was great. Like I had people to bounce ideas off of, and I felt like I built real lasting friendships with people. But to me, I guess a lot, like stepping back from pharmacy, I have found that a lot of the relationships and the friendships that I built within pharmacy, unfortunately, they weren't, at least it doesn't seem like it to me right now. They weren't real. It just wasn't. And I feel like there's a reason the whole MLM world and everything like that gets a bad rep. And I didn't want to be a part of that world anymore. I didn't want to have to make myself into something I wasn't. Like I said, I was successful because I was building relationships with people. I built a team off of love, encouragement, and just having fun. And when it became about numbers and it became about, you know, like, even when I felt pressure, even, I'm not trying to bash anyone, like pharmacy, like I said, it will always have a special place in my heart, but things started to change. After the new website launched, I'm not a fan of the new website at all. I don't like it. I wish we would just go back to the old one, honestly. And so after they launched the new website and I still couldn't figure things out, I didn't feel comfortable anymore with it. And I kept trying to tell myself, I'm like, oh, we'll get the hang of it, you know, just get out of your comfort zone, this and that, all these things that you tell yourself to grow and be successful. But if you're not happy with what you're doing and you don't feel right about things, there's something there telling you like, hey, like let's take a look at this. What is the path? What are we doing? It just, I don't know. And honestly, like, I was gonna like write everything down and make this a little bit more scripted. So I'm like, oh, so I want to go into this like knowing what I'm saying and this and that. But like, honestly, the more I thought about it, this is why this video took so long for me to make, because I was thinking so hard on it that I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And the more I thought about it, the more I didn't want to do it. So that is why I'm filming it right now in my car, because I'm like, I grabbed my camera and I'm like, let's go. I'm just gonna go. Like, I didn't want, I don't know. I didn't want pressure from anyone like that wanted me to make this video, that didn't want me to make this video. This is just how I feel. This is how I feel about things, and I want to get back to being me, and I want to do things that matter to me. And I'm not saying that pharmacy and the MLM world, like, I'm not saying that those things don't matter. I'm saying that I have to get back to doing me, and I have to do things that make me happy. Because at the end of the day, what else do you have? But going along with why I've been like holding back on things and haven't like been able to find my direction on getting started again is because like I have literally been letting this fear cripple me. So I have just been letting fear hold me back, and I feel like I've been living based off of fear. And that's no way to live. Honestly, like if you're living because you're scared of what might happen, or you're scared of the unknown, or you're scared of something, fear is going to make living very anxiety ridden. And I felt like that's why I was getting so much anxiety, and I just felt so much pressure, and I felt all this just, I was living scared because I was scared to admit that I wasn't happy, and I was scared to take my step away from pharmacy fully. Like, I knew I wanted to make the whole like Unfluencer movement. I knew I wanted to keep going with that. I knew all of those things, but what I didn't know for sure is what my life would look like without pharmacy. And I was scared. And so I held off for the longest time, and then finally I made that post on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and I got so much support from that, you guys. Like, all of the support, all of the comments, like just showing support and just saying, you know, like, I'm here for you, or I've been through it. People reaching out and messaging. Like, I still haven't even gotten back to all of those comments because it was so overwhelming. The support, which it was great, but it was overwhelming to a point where like I didn't expect it. Like I expected, you know, people to be upset, or like it wasn't that though. It was very inspiring to read all of the comments, and right when I read you know, some of the people that were like commenting and stuff, and people that were like reaching out and messaging, like when I started listening to some of those and reading some of those, like I knew I made the right decision. I did. I just knew. I was like, this is right. This is what feels right. I know I'm moving in the right direction. And then from there, it was just, okay, what's next? But even then it was scary, and I was feeling held back because I knew that, you know, people that were on my team or people that worked around me, I knew that, you know, they were probably, you know, saying whatever and this and that, and I was letting that fear even cripple me too. I was scared of what people were saying. I was like, I know I preach on, like, you know, like self-love and confidence and all of this stuff, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Like I'm still working on it too, you know. I don't have it all figured out. Me coming to the realization that a lot of the friendships that I formed were not real was because when I took a step back, there was only a good handful to a couple handfuls of people that actually reached out and, you know, saw like just to check in, see how I was doing, just to stay in contact, because like I said, I felt like I built so many friendships through pharmacy, and to know that people were only there when I could provide value, it was hurtful. It was very hurtful, and I felt like because of feeling that, it made me feel like I was nothing. And I know that sounds terrible to say, but it really did. I felt like I had no place, and I didn't know. I felt like I forgot my worth. I did not think I was going to cry in this video. But I've been keeping so much of this in, and I have to let it out, and I have to be honest with you guys, because y'all have been there for me, and I know some of you have started following me because of pharmacy, but I also know that people have supported me through other ventures that I have taken and everything, and I don't plan on joining any other network marketing company, anything like that. I need to step away from that world, and I need to do things that feel more real to me, and I need to focus on keeping the relationships in my life on a very real level, and because otherwise my trust issues start flaring up, because I don't know if anyone else is a Leo, and I don't know if it necessarily has to do with my sign or, you know, past things that I've been through, but I have issues with trusting. I don't trust very easily. So when someone does, and that's another reason why I feel like I was so hurt by so many people. Like I said, I don't give my trust easily. So when people earn my trust and then they do something to show me that trust was misplaced, that's really hard for me. That's really hard for me. But I have been honestly in a really low place these past couple days, and I know, like, obviously coming back from Florida back to the Midwest where it's cloudy and all that, it doesn't help. I'm parked now, by the way, that's why I took that off. It doesn't help, but I feel like the more that I keep it in, the worse off I'm gonna be. And this is not a video to say, like, anti-MLM, or, like, you know, oh, like, screw MLM companies, you know, like, oh, pharmacy, like, but it's just, like I said, I just have to say how I'm feeling and where I've been lately, because I have been pulling back from making videos because I didn't know my direction. But I know the things that made me happy, and we're going to be getting back to that. Even if I'm just setting the camera up in a garage or whatever. Between, like, working out and, like, art projects and, like, redoing furniture and just different things like that, like, those are things that, like, I can literally just turn some music on and get lost in those things. Now, am I a professional in any of those ventures? No, I'm not. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to share makeup and hair tips and tricks, because I am a professional in that industry, in hair and makeup, and so I will continue to share things like that. But I think I felt like I needed to stay in this makeup box, like this box of, like, oh, the makeup world. But the slate is wiped clean right now, and the road is open, and I like that feeling. I really do. I like that feeling of, I don't have to stay in this box. Like, I can get back to what makes me I can get back to having fun with things and sharing that with you guys. And at the end of the day, success is not how much money you make. Let me tell you right now, because I was making a decent amount. I was making enough for me to live off of and to, to spoil my kid, to do things like do random stuff. I was making a good amount of money, and I walked away. And it was scary as freaking crap, but I couldn't stay in a position where I was not happy. When things were changing and the new website launched, like I said, the new website launched, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but then also I started feeling like I was just a number. Like when people on my team and myself were having like issues with things and issues weren't getting resolved, and yet we were still being asked to recruit and offered incentives for recruiting, which is fine, like that's fine, but to say like, oh, we want pharmacy to be number one, and then for people to still be having issues that weren't getting resolved, that we weren't getting answers back to me, like, I lost a little bit of faith in pharmacy at that point, because before, when they were growing and when I joined, they would get back to us very quickly. We could get a hold of people in customer service, and it's like we would get issues resolved very quickly. But when it became all about like, oh, growing and the numbers and this and that, like, I did start to feel like another number. I couldn't get a hold of anyone. I constantly, had to go through my sponsor, and I could tell she was getting frustrated because she had so many people that were messaging her. So then relationships got tense between, sponsor and downline and all this and that, because there were so many issues that weren't getting resolved. And so you immediately go to your sponsor and you're like, well, why is this happening? Why is that happening? So I know how frustrating that is, because I had it on even a smaller scale than my sponsor did. And so I know that was probably frustrating, but then to feel like you had nowhere to turn to get answers or to get things resolved, and paychecks were wrong. And like, I know this happens, and these are growing pains. Okay. But when someone's paycheck is wrong for like a full month before they get an answer, like that's not okay. Like, they're putting in the work. They shouldn't have to like beg for their paycheck that they worked their booty off for. So things like that. And then it was just honestly, things are so different from the people that I had conversations with literally on the daily, that I felt like were my sisters. Like, things are so different right now, and it's kind of heartbreaking, honestly, because I miss those people in my life. But knowing that if I can't provide value to someone, that they're not gonna have my back. I understand wanting to be surrounded by like-minded people, but when I had poured my heart and soul into people, and then to not have that reciprocated, it's a very defeating feeling. And then honestly, I was considering keeping my pharmacy account open, because I was still using, the skincare. Like, I wasn't really using any of the makeup anymore, but I was still using the skincare. And so I was like, I might just keep my account open, and I'll keep, getting my skincare. And I literally probably only had a good couple handfuls of people under me that were still like doing anything or purchasing or anything like that. I wasn't, recruiting. I wasn't adding any more customers, anything like that. And I actually had somebody on my team, like a year, I don't know when exactly it was, but like, it was some time back. And it was when the whole, with the company Forsage and all of the crypto and all this stuff, well, basically pharmacy wanted nothing to do with that company. And so people had to choose either, stay with pharmacy or, and I know other MLM companies did this as well, but it was like, okay, either, you have to either surrender your account and go with Forsage, or basically, or just don't be a part of that company type of thing. And so I had someone on my team that I was very close with, and she decided she wanted to leave. And I told, like, it was fine because I told her, I was like, you know what, you do what you feel is best for your family. But accounts were not surrendered. And my upline found out and she wanted me to report it. And so I had to send messages and reporting it. Nothing got done basically, but I went to log into my pharmacy account actually like a week ago or so, or I don't know, a couple days ago. I don't even remember. And it said that my account was suspended. So nothing got done about this person that was supposed to surrender their account. She was literally in my back office to this day. Still had her account, still used it for the discount, even though it was completely like against the rules. I will not name names. I will not go down that road. I'm not trying to destroy anybody, anything like that. But I do think it's funny that depending on who you are, if people feel threatened by you for whatever reason, which there was no threat from me leaving. It was just, I just had to voice what I was feeling and what I was doing to my followers because I felt an obligation to let you guys know what was going on. But they suspended my account, even though I did nothing wrong. I do feel like a weight has kind of been lifted after I've said this. Just don't let anybody steal your joy. Do what makes you happy. If being part of an MLM company, if that makes you happy, then freaking do it. But it is never too late to start something new or to chase after whatever dream you have. It's never too late, because I think that was another thing that kind of kept me scared for a long time. Was I was like, oh, it's I'm in too deep. I'm too late to do this. I'm too late to do this. And just if I can get anything across to you, it is that success is not the amount of followers you have or how much money you make or your status with a company. It's not any of that. If that's what makes you happy, then sure, let it be that. But life is so much more than numbers. And I think about goals right now, and I really don't know what my end goal is. I don't. And that's okay. It's okay not to know, because we put so much pressure on ourselves and so much thought about like, oh, I have to have my life planned out. I have to have this figured out. I have to do this by this age, and I have to do that. It's like you put so much pressure on yourself, and it's like, don't focus so much on you and what you need to do, but focus on just being happy and making sure the people that you love are happy, and you will be the most successful person in the world. I can promise you that. Because happiness far outweighs a paycheck and numbers and stature. So yeah, all of this to just say, like, be happy. Be freaking happy. It doesn't matter what Sally down the street thinks, what your mom thinks, what your dad thinks. It doesn't matter. Just do what makes you freaking happy. I always go back to the story, like with John Lennon, when like he was in grade school, and like I don't know if it's like a story, a quote, or what it is, but I just like that's been like sticking out to me. And it's just like, they asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said happy. And they said that he didn't understand the assignment, and he said that they didn't understand life. Like, I literally get goosebumps every time I hear that and I think of that, because it's literally it's so true. It's so true. Between John Lennon and freaking Prince, I actually heard this story, actually our pastor at church told this story about Prince after he let out his biggest hit. He was like #1 on the charts, all this stuff. He was having a party at his house, and one of his friends went looking for him, and he was just like up in a bedroom upstairs, and he comes in there and he's like, Prince, or you know, whatever they called him. Like, what are you doing up here? You should be celebrating. Like, you just hit the top of the charts, blah, blah, blah. And he says, like, literally, like, I get chills, but he says, I've climbed to the top of the mountain, or I've been to the top of the mountain, and nothing's there. Like, for such huge, like, public figure, you know, like, whatever you want to call them, musicians, whatever, like, all the success in the world, and still the only thing that was important was just being happy, truly happy. So I'm gonna stop rambling now. I am gonna stop rambling now, but I just felt like I needed to share some of this because this was my experience and this was what I went through with it. And like I said, it caused me a lot of turmoil in my head. Like it wasn't a decision that I took very lightly, but I just knew that I needed to focus on getting back to being happy. So, if you are, if you're struggling, if you're, trying to figure out life and all these things, just know that like, you're not alone. Everybody's trying to figure out life, and it's not easy. It really isn't, because like I said, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. I literally don't even know everything I just said. I just kind of let it out. Stay tuned for some more fun videos, because like I said, we're gonna get back to I'm gonna get back to doing me. We're gonna have fun with it. And thank you so much for those of you that have reached out and shown support and been supporting the channel and just being there. I appreciate you more than you know. So don't forget, you guys, hit that subscribe button before you leave. It helps tremendously. And we will see you guys next video. Thanks for listening, you guys.